Hey guys, it's your girl Isra, aka Is Always Glowing. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an in-depth blush and concealer tutorial. So if you'd like to know how I achieved this look, keep watching. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys my favourite way to apply cream blush. At the moment, I've actually been loving mixing blushes, so we'll go through that today and I'll let you guys know what combos I've been loving. If you're new here, just a little heads up, I like to apply blush before concealer. So there's actually quite a few reasons why I like to apply blush before concealer. So sometimes I might apply a bit too much blush, or if I'm trying a new blush, it's a bit too pigmented and it looks a bit crazy. I just find that the concealer helps to diffuse the blush. Also, I just find that it photographs a little bit better as well. In terms of like my blush and my concealer, like blending, I feel like it photographs really nicely when I do blush and then concealer first. So seeing as this is a blush tutorial, I thought I might show you guys my liquid / cream blush collection. Now I'm actually really lucky to receive a lot of these products in PR, but I actually have bought a lot of these products with my own money too. So I just thought it'd be nice to talk about some of the cream blushes I've been loving at the moment before we get into the tutorial. Also, I'm not quite sure what combo to go through, so I feel like it'll be good to go through the blushes and then decide like which combination to go with today. Okay, so as you can see, I've got 3 blushes from Elle. I've actually been loving these two at the moment. You might have seen this in my previous video. I've also been loving the Flower Nose liquid blushes as well. I've actually been loving this combo specifically. Let me just show you guys quickly. Look at that color. How pretty is that? You can't tell me that's not the perfect pink. Look how pretty that is. Look how pretty these shades are. I've actually tried these two as a combo and it's actually so pretty. I'll show you guys quickly and how these two look together. Like, look at that. Is that not like the prettiest pink that you've ever seen? And the formula is really nice as well. It's really creamy, like it blends so easily. I also really love the P. Louise Cheek of It blushes. Let me show you guys these 2 shades. My favorite shades from the collection. So this is shade Pink Party. Melon Mood is literally one of my favorite blushes ever. Like, look at that shade. It's actually been a while since I've used this and I've forgotten how pretty Melon Mood is. This might have to be one of the blushes that we use in today's combo because look at that color. Okay, yeah, I think we're gonna go with this one. I just wanted to show you guys the blush trios from Makeup Revolution because I've actually really been loving the formulas of these and the fact that you get 3 products in one. So you get a cream, a powder, and this is almost like a, I say like a highlighter, but it's almost like a sparkly blush. And it comes in 4 different shades. They are actually so stunning and great value for money. So in my first video, I did tell you guys that this is actually one of my favorite blushes, especially recently. It's been like one of my go-tos. I just thought I'd mention it again because this blush is stunning. Like, it's actually one of my favorites. Like, it's definitely worth a mention again. And if you haven't seen my first video, make sure to go check that out. Just wanted to swatch this shade for you. And as you can tell, like, I love a pink blush. I know you've probably seen this all over your For You page, but there's honestly a reason. Like, this product is actually amazing and it's actually great value for money because you get 4 bronzers and 4 blushes. And if you're like me, somebody that loves to play around with makeup, like, this is honestly the perfect thing because you can mix the blushes, you can mix the bronzers. If you would like to see some of the blush combinations I've done using this palette, then make sure to check out my Instagram because I actually have a blush mixing series on there. You can probably guess what my favorite shade is from this palette, but I'll give you guys a sec to just maybe have a little quick think. If you guessed Sweet Cheeks, you guessed right. So this is a Shy Boy. Look at that. That is absolutely stunning. Honestly, this palette is so pigmented and the formula is so easy to work with. This is Sweet Cheeks. I've actually tried this combination before and honestly it's so stunning. Like, let me give it a quick mix and see if I can show you guys. Look at how pretty that color is. If you're a beginner to makeup and you kind of want to play around with different blush combos, or you just want to find out like what the best shades are for contour or bronzing, I definitely recommend trying the Curve Case. Okay, now we're going to get straight into the video because I feel like I was speaking quite a lot about my favorite blushes, but I hope you guys found that helpful if you're looking for a new blush. So usually when doing a blush combo, I only use 2, but today I thought I'd go in with 3 different blushes because I've actually tried this combo before. I think like last year. I do have a video on my Instagram, so I just thought this way we can make it a little bit different. So first I'm going to go in with the shade Maroon, and I personally like to place my blush quite high, so I'm going to place Maroon here. I'm going to place this one here, and lastly I'm going to place Melon Mood on the apples of my cheeks. So to blend my blush today, I'm going to be using the Dress Up Beauty F01 brush. Now I will link everything in the description below, so don't worry. I'm going to go in with the smaller side at first and then slowly start to blend it out with the bigger side. So we're going to start off with Maroon. And I just like to use dabbing and tapping motions when I'm blending, just to make sure you're pushing the product and not swiping it, because swiping it can make it go patchy. Oh my gosh, no, this combo is so pretty. By the way, don't worry too much if you've applied a little bit too much blush or if you've applied it like too close to this area, because when you apply your concealer, like it will blend really nicely. I'm gonna take the other side of the brush now to blend it upwards towards my contour to make sure everything is blended together really nicely. This is honestly one of my favorite things to do, is like mixing blushes, because you actually get the prettiest blushes. Oh my gosh, no, look at that shade. I love how easily these formulas blend, and they actually all work really well together as well, which is nice. Like there's no pilling or anything. And now I'm just blending out the other side using the same technique. Let me know in the comments what you think of this blush combination, because I actually think it's stunning, but I don't know if it's just me being a bit biased because these are my favorite blushes. So once I finish blending out my blush, I just like to take the brush I blended out my contour with, and I just like to quickly go over that and make sure that the blush and the contour have been married like properly. Now it's time to apply my concealer, and usually I would apply corrector before, but I actually have done that off camera. Let me know if you guys would like a separate tutorial on how to color correct. So I have two options for concealer today. This is my go-to concealer, but I've actually really been loving the e.l.f. one, so I was thinking maybe we can go in with both today. I literally have to scrape the concealer out. Like you can literally tell this is one of my favorite concealers. I'm just going to show you where I like to apply my concealer. To blend out my concealer today, I'm going to be using a powder puff. I honestly love using a powder puff to blend out my concealer because I just feel like it gives you a little bit more coverage, and it also gives you such a smooth finish. I find that sometimes brushes can leave some streaks, but the powder puff does not do that at all. I feel like when it comes to blending this part of your concealer, it blends it really nicely with the blush. I'm just using dabbing and tapping motions when blending this out. I feel like the powder puff really allows me to get into my inner corner as well. And you see how quick that was? It just blended so nicely and so evenly. Like, just look at it up close. There's literally no streaks, there's no lines. Just look at how easily it blends. Can you see how now that we've blended the concealer, it's diffused the blush so much as well, and it's blended in really nicely. I always go back in with my blush brush though, just to make sure everything has been blended together. Now I'm just going to go back in with my blush brush, and we're not adding any more products. We're just using whatever was left on the brush just to make sure that we've blended the concealer and the blush together properly. Just look at how pretty that looks. I'm actually really obsessed with this blush combo. I'm definitely going to be trying this one out again. And I'm just going to do the same on the other side. Remember to use dabbing and tapping motions when you're blending, and just really push the product into your skin. If you want your makeup to last longer, I would definitely recommend pushing the product into your skin rather than swiping it. I just like to take my foundation brush and just make sure the concealer and my cream bronzer have been blended together properly. And I just like to go over this bit as well, just to make sure that everything has been blended before we set. Personally, I do like a bright under eye, so I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. I'm just going to add a little bit in my inner corner, like literally a tiniest, and literally just keep it focused in this area. I particularly like to use a powder puff when it comes to this part, because I just find it helps keep the concealer focused in this area, and it just gives you a little bit more control. I just find, honestly, it just gives you such a nice smooth finish. Before setting my face, I literally just take whatever's left on a puff and I just make sure that I blend my eyelid. Okay, so now it's time to set the face. I'm going to be using the Hourglass powder. I've actually been loving this powder recently. Okay, so before I set my face, I just wanted to show you guys the blush combo. How pretty that looks. See how it just blends so nicely with the concealer. I told you guys to trust the process. Make sure to pack the powder evenly on the puff, and just make sure you're really pushing the powder into the puff. I just like to make sure that I blended any creases that might have formed. The puff should look something like this. So let's go straight in. And I'm looking up when I'm setting, making sure to push the powder into my under eyes, and just look at the difference. Got how great this powder is. Like, I'm so happy I rediscovered it recently, because just look at that finish. And now I'm just doing the same on the other side. Take whatever powder is left on the puff and start setting the rest of my face, and just make sure that you're doing this really lightly, but you're pushing the powder into the skin. I just like to take whatever powder is left just to set my blush slightly before going straight in with powder blush. See how like the shine is gone? Okay, so now that my face has been set, it's time to go in with a little bit of setting spray, and then I'm going to go in with some powder blush. I'm just going to be going with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. If you watched my first video, you know that this is actually one of my favourite setting sprays. So you guys can see that my face obviously looks like it's been set with some powder. I'm going to spray this and I'll come back and show you guys like how it looks. It gives you the most flawless finish, like it literally melts all your powders in. So I'm just waiting for the rest of my face to dry, because I can still feel like it's a little bit wet, but just look at how flawless like my base looks. Do you see what I mean about the Morphe spray? Like it literally just melts all your powders in. Okay, so it's time to apply some powder blush, and I'm actually going to be going with another combo. Yeah, just combos for combos. But this is the LA Girl Cosmetics powder blush in the shade Just Kiss. Now I did talk about this in my first video. It's actually one of my favorites, as you can see, like I've hit pan. And this is the NARS powder blush in the shade Thrill. It's a beautiful cool toned pink. When it comes to applying my powder blush, I always like to use an angled brush because I just feel like it just sets it really nicely, and it just kind of blends really nicely with my concealer and my bronzer as well. I'll be mixing the two colors together. I'm just going to get a good amount of products on the brush. Pro tip, instead of tapping off the excess product, I actually like to tap my brush. I just find that this helps disperse the products throughout the bristles rather than them just sitting at the top. And I'm just going to start from the apples of my cheek and slowly work upwards. Oh, I feel like this is a really nice colour. Okay, so I finished applying the blush to this side, and just look at how pretty that looks. And you just want to use light dabbing and tapping motions when you're applying this. Just make sure you're blending it upwards, and also remember to blend it with your bronzer as well. I just like to take a little bit on my nose as well, and I just add a tiny bit to my temples. Before we finish off, I'm literally just going with a little bit of powder. This is the Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder in a shade 115. It's really similar to the brightening shade that we used. I'm going to focus it in my inner corner here, and I'm going to bring it slowly towards my blush. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just look at how flawless that is. I actually love this powder, and it's so affordable as well. I feel like when it comes to complexion, Maybelline do really good products. I really like their foundation. I've actually got their Superstay foundation on underneath. This is the same shade as my foundation, and I'm just going to take a really light layer of it and just set the rest of my face. So this was the brush that I used to apply my powder bronzer on my eyelids, and I'm just going to use it to just blend into my under eye a little bit more. So before we finish off, I'm just going to go into the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Now this is the vitamin C one. I really like this one. And we are done. So that was an in-depth blush and under eye tutorial. I hope you guys enjoy. I've actually been loving mixing blushes. So if it's something that you haven't tried before, I hope you try it and let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.